Thank you, Minister. Hello and hello again, and welcome to Living Strong, where I'm your host, Hey Prophet Johnson. We have got to go ahead and get started real quick, and I believe that is, Minister, I think I'm lost already. That was Matthew, the book of Matthew in chapter number 7 is where we're going. And welcome aboard, Minister. Good to have you on, man, because without you, I wouldn't have a good sense of humor. And, you know, we're going to move on and get started here. There's a lot that's happening in today's time. What is real in your life? What is solid in your life? What is purpose in your life? What is the main agenda of your life? What is the focus and the focability of your life? What are the goals, the dreams, the end results, the in and out, the up and down, the primary deliverance of who you are and what you was created to be? Where did you come from? Why do you exist? Why are you here? Are you faking the funk, or are you just perpetrating a fraud with your existence? Is there a God? Is there not a God? What is it that you want, and what are you building on? That's what I want to know. What are you building on? Are you building on money? Oh, shut up, Prophet Johnson. Too much fire already. Are you building on relationship? What? Who is that man you building on? Who is that woman you building on? Who is those children you manipulate and building on? What did you lay? You got any concrete? Or are you just an abstract? Why is it that I am mad as happy? Y'all know what I was supposed to say, don't you? Welcome to Living Strong, where I'm your host, Prophet Johnson. Minister, let's get started. Matthew chapter number 7, verse number 24. This is the building of a firm foundation and building on a firm foundation. Firm deals with solid. Therefore, Jesus, red letter edition, whosoever heareth these saying of mine. Minister, I don't like that. Let's go back up and give them a little bit of coolest stuff, okay? Let's go back up, Minister, and read real fast. Verse number 15. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly they are raving wolves. Hello, pastors. Hello, Congress. You shall know them by their fruits. Many will gather around them to eat the lies and the hypocrisy thereof of this cooted down Jesus, hatred, racism, filled word Christian church. Do men gather grapes of thorns? Of course not, because sin is pretty. The devil dresses up real nice. He'll put a man in a suit, put him on television, and then on top of that, make sure that that man that's dressed up that look like an angel does not sleep with a woman. Do men gather grapes of thorns? Likewise women, or figs of thistles? Even so every good tree bringeth forth good fruit. What good fruit? The only fruit you're going to eat is the Georgia peach. But a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit, of course. This is why the mass murders, the mass killings, the shoot 'em, the random, the violence like you've never seen before. In case you missed the last time, we are living in a time of both blessing and cursing. We are living in the time of the blessing and in the time of the curse. Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Of course not. Too much money. Folks buying this, buying that. Shortage in the car market. shortage in work, shortage everywhere. Why? Because the nation is set free again. God put them in a corral. He held them in a cage through the pandemic. And then he opened it up. He let them out. But out with came demons from the abyss. Those that are mind-altering forces, people in the streets, they're going to act out everything that is in their heart, that is in their mind, because we're living in the last days. The turmoil, the trouble, the triumphancy, and all these things that challenge us to be who we are in Christ is not building upon this foundation. So therefore something is amiss. Something is opposite of a hit. Every demon now is going to move. This is the beginning stages. They're going to ride. They're going to kill. They're going to rob. They're going to steal. They're going to lie. They're going to cheat. They're going to hack. And on top of that, they're going to let the money flow. Why? Because you are not remembering. You've got to save for a rainy day while you're living in utopia, while you're living in paradise, while you're riding around, while you're buying your food, that they hiking the prices up on hamburger and everything else in the store. You've got to see what's happening. We're living in a time of deception. The signs of the times is upon the land, and mankind is not listening to the proverbial voice of the Lord that's crying in the wilderness. Saying, come unto me, come unto me. And some of you are missing it. All you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. You're missing it. You're missing it. Here it is. Here it is. Minister, verse, number. A good tree cannot bring, and that's not where I am. Now, verse number 21. Not everyone that saith to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth, verse number 21, Matthew chapter number 7. But he that doeth the will of the Father, which is in heaven, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord. Oh, you better believe it. In the church, full of hatred, full of racism, all over the land, bigotry, trickology, in theology. You better wake up. You are not listening. Oh, you're grounding me. Shut up and preach this gospel. Have we not prophesied in thy name? You're going to say it. You're going to say it. You're going to say it. And in thy name have cast out devils. Yes, sir. Priest, pastor, prophet. But you are missing something. You don't have a relationship. You don't have an intimacy. You don't know Jesus. You only know the Bible, the word, the works, the money, and all the filthy lucre that come to put your family on ranches and set them up with $200+ million mansions while they struggle in the United States of America. Hallelujah. Homeless in Los Angeles, homeless in Washington, everywhere in New York. And then we sit up and we play this Jesus Christ crucified game. Oh, let me move. And in thy name have done many wonderful works. Didn't we not cast out devils? And didn't we not do many wonderful works in thy name, Jesus Christ? Remember, Jesus. We are Christians, evangelicals. We vote. We run the White House. We deal with this. No black and white in this message. Keep your black and white. I don't want it. We already told y'all we didn't want y'all in our world. You species of a human being, of a man nature, up on earth, go back to your world. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Of course you didn't. Thank you. You didn't know him. Now he don't know you. Why don't he know you? Because you don't have no relationship. You have relations, but no relationships. What are you building on? Depart from me, you that work iniquity, you crooks, you lying wonders. Therefore, whosoever hear these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the wind blew and beat upon the house, and it fell not. Why? Because it's built upon a rock. That rock is the spiritual rock of Christ, for it was founded upon a rock. What happened? Whether in Florida, minister somewhere down there, building this condominium, how you like the high rise, how you like the high life, building this stuff on stilts, dumb, stupid stilts, to where you can walk under the doggone building and then go hang it over like a flower garden and then watch it like it did in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. Watch it crumble. Why? Because it's made out of this cheap stuff. Cheap stuff. And the rest of you, y'all better pack y'all bags and get out of those buildings. Because they all about, old building can stand for 4,000 years off of a rock made out of a pyramid put together by Neanderthals, and we can't even build one to last 40 years, and this one lasts 4,000 years? What are you building on? What is in your house? Who's tearing it up? Who's destroying it? The enemy is going to come to ravish everything. You better stay in your house. You better watch what you're building. Who do you got sitting at your table? Who are you feeding? What are you feeding them? Why are they with you? What do they have in common with you besides a laugh and your money and their agenda? And when it's all said and done, you're not going to have a pot to urinate in. I'm being so nice, I am religious today. And then on top of that, you are not going to have a soul to turn to, because when they eat your flesh, when they eat you alive, when they finish with you, the spirit of the heifer and the spirit of the bastard is going on to the next leech community. And that you better believe. And everyone that hears these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man. See, what happened, which built his house upon sand? Sand. Remember the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers. And in the end, the Twin Towers shall fall, and all the world shall observe it. The Twin Towers in New York was a spiritual representation of a natural attack. So when the towers fell in New York, it was a spiritual warfare engagement, because those things was built off into the ground on a solid foundation. Now what you saw concerning those houses or whatever them thing was, them shanties that they charging all them folks all that money for, with heavy furniture, heavy refrigerator, living on top of each other, hanging off on stilts. That's a natural foundation. So what you have are an earthly foundation. So you had the government to build theirs, the nation to build theirs, up on a spiritual foundation, but it was demonic. So it was destroyed in the atmosphere of the spiritual realm because you had to look up. So therefore, what happened in Florida with whatever them thing was, that cheap Chinese steel that made out of concrete, asphalt, and stucco hanging over a ledge, here, What happened was that was a natural foundation to the ground. So what God is trying to show you is that symbolically, the spiritual foundation and the natural foundation failed the same. The houses in Florida failed, just like the Twin Towers, symbolically. So what God is doing, he said, I'm tearing up and I'm shaking up the spiritual foundation of the church and in the heavens, and I'm separating the wheat from the tare, and I'm coming down to your natural foundation, and I'm tearing down your natural foundation because the church is no good. The church is through. Y'all can go. Go back. You're wasting your time. They're there for you. You're through. The programs, the pastor's appreciation, the high rise, the good old healing, whatever. You're through. Except there's a why am I wasting my time? Why am I wasting my time? Ain't studying me. Lord, help us. Help us, Jesus. Help us. If your pastor is not now delivering you, and miracles are not happening, you back in the same place with nosy folks that come to check you out, look at you, don't want nothing, judge everybody, peep at everybody, and it's the same old hell raisers that was raising hell before. Let me move on because my blood. Where am I at? Verse number 27, and the rain descended, and the flood came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall. Of course, they're dead. They're dead. All right? And it came to pass when Jesus had ended these saying, the people were astonished at his doctrine. Jesus knew it was going to happen. He knew it. Some of y'all in relationship, you built on stilts. You don't know you on borrowed time. You're not going to get away from God's will. Okay? For he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. You don't need a prophecy now. You're talking about killing? Y'all ain't seen nothing. They getting ready to show enough kill. You know what's going to happen? They're going to show up at a big carnival, a big procession, and they're going to lay them out. They're going to show up where a lot of people are gathered, and you getting ready to see some killings like you ain't never seen before. Because those demons now have been unleashed from the lockdown. Symbolically, the same way they're going to be released from the bottomless pit for a season, for 1,000 years, Satan, to do his damage. Y'all ain't seen nothing. We're in the beginning stages. But it don't matter what I'm talking about. Now do it. Minister, we're not going, I don't know where we at, and I'm still lost. But I want to show them something that I'm lost on, that I don't know what I'm lost on. Luke chapter number 6, verse number 46. And why call you me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Whosoever cometh unto me and heareth my saying, and doeth them, I will show to whom he is like. I'm going to show you what you built on. He is like a man which built his house and dig deep. Did you hear that? Deep. Deep is the revelation of prayer. Of pray. I don't have time for that. Lord God, I ain't gonna make it. He is like a man which built his house and dig deep and laid the foundation on a rock. See, Moses, speak to the rock. But what we doing, we hit the rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon the house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon the rock Christ. So what is your life about? I'm going to mess up, minister. We're not going to make it. I'm going to get to the good part and we're going to close out. I'm not going to make it. But he that heareth and doeth not is like that without a foundation. What are you building on? See, many of you, you're living in the present. You're not caring about the future. No. I shouldn't have said that. That's the wrong answer. Many of you, your present is destroying your future. Because you're not all others. For those of you who are veering living strong, y'all ought to be some of the baddest folks there is. You know what should happen? I'm going to tell you what should happen. Right now, everybody ought to flood this ministry with $2. Now, Prophet Johnson, know you did. Yes, I did. Not 20, not 3. Everybody from that's veering from 190 plus countries, 209, and all over the world, she'll just go ahead and send $2 to Living Strong. Why? Because that's a church offering. That's a covenant. But folks will not even build on a $2 foundation with Jesus except in the church. Tithe and offering. Y'all have no idea. Folks, I'm warning you. What I'm about to show you is very terrifying. In closing, in the end, what I'm about to reveal unto the nation and unto the world, Satan hates, the world hates, and I'm going to release it within the next perhaps 30 seconds here. Here it comes. Watch this. But he that heareth, do it not, and is like a man without a foundation, built the house upon the earth. That's where you're building it at. Remember? Two representation. The church, Jesus said, minister, I am the chief cornerstone. Minister, we're not going to get there. Built the house upon the earth, which the stream did beat, and it fell, and great was the ruin of that house. Now, if I could really rush, then I'll really rush. And I'm really rushing. And you ever had a dream and you're dreaming, you're running, you're moving fast as you can, but you're running in slow motion? No, and there the devil's behind you, and everything you do is slow motion. Like Steve Austin. Oh, minister, we got all that time. Y'all, we got 1 million time left. Good Lord, we got 1 million time left. And anyway, all that stuff is happening. You better stand up, Mr. Church Peacock. You better flaunt your feathers. You know better than that. Here it is. Minister, if I start talking, we can read. Here it is. And where am I at? Oh, okay, that's where I am. Where was I at? Okay, that's where I am. I got it. Yeah. Didn't I tell y'all that I tell y'all when I'm lost? What? You know, here it goes. Ephesians chapter number 2. And I want you to look with me at verse, and God, I'm not going to have time for all of this, minister. I got to read fast. Y'all listen to me while I read fast. Okay? Ephesians 2:11. Wherefore, remember that you being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcised, you weren't accepted by the world. You remember they called it I'm going to get offline and I'm going to mess up. They called it white supremacy, but you wouldn't accept it in America. Oh, I am so sorry. They called it slavery. Okay. Who are called, in other words, you weren't fit. You weren't cut by your foreskin, Mr. Man, woman, not the woman. Come on. By that which is called circumcision in the flesh made by hands, the doctor. That at that time you were without Christ. Now here goes. See, circumcision of the heart is what he wants. Being aliens from commonwealth of Israel. Aliens from another world. But you don't realize that because you like the species of who you are, which is a human species, which is I am a robot inside a human. No, that's not what I am. And strangers, listen to this right here, from the covenants of promise, having no hope without God in the world. Strangers from the covenant. What foundation? What covenant were you building on? I don't have time to go back to that. The covenant and the vow, a promise having no hope. That's what we were. And without God, he said, I promise to give you life, but where are you going to get it from? Jesus Christ. But now in Christ, you have sometimes were far off or made nigh by the blood of Christ, for he is our peace. Did you hear that? Going through hell, that's where your peace is. Not your pastor, who hath made both one, that's you and he, and have broken down the middle wall of petition between us. So you don't need no pastor, you don't need no evangelist, you don't need no prophet. Oh, excuse me, I didn't know that. Well, come on, Mr. Catholic priest, I want to confess my sins before you. Excuse me, Mr. priest, I am in love with you. Here it is, having abolished in the flesh the enmity that go between, even the law commandments contained in ordinances for to make in himself of twain one new man, so making peace. In other words, moved everything that was evil, became one with us, and made peace in life, and that he might reconcile both unto God in one body. That's I don't have time for that. Fitly framed together, the toe, the foot, the nose, and the eye. But some of y'all, we just got black eyes. Here it goes. And thank God mine is blue. Here it is. But don't you hit me in my eye and make me black and blue. Here it is. By the cross having slain the enmity thereby the enemy, and came and preached peace to you which were afar off. That's right. What are you building on? Where is your peace coming from? The peace that surpasses all understanding should keep your hearts and mind through Christ Jesus. Here it is. And to them that were nigh, for through him we both have access by one Spirit unto the Father. God said you got it made. It's right in front of you. All you got to do is listen to Living Strong. Your deliverance hour. Minister, hear the Lord. Saying, tell my people to praise him. Tell my people to give glory. Tell my people to shout. Tell my people to say thank you. Tell my people to run and not be weary. The Lord said, I got you. I got you. I got your children. I got your family. I got your house. I got your mind. I got everything that belongs to me in you. And you don't have to worry about nothing. Work, do good, give, be a blessing. The Lord is saying, I'm going to give you the outpost. And I'm going to make you the head, not the tail, above and not beneath, blessed, not cursed, called out, sought out, chosen of God. And the Father said to tell you, in the midst of it all, I'm making a way through the crooked places for your life right now. And what is God saying? I'm giving you a firm foundation and starting you over anew. And the Lord is saying, I'm building back your reputation to re-deputize or re-reputatize you and to release you into a new beginning. And the crosses that came against you, the Lord said to tell you, I've made the crooked places straight. Y'all got to let me go because I have got to do something to get up out of here. I can't handle my own self. Here it is. And are built upon the foundation of the apostle. This is what minister talking about. Now, therefore, you are no more strangers and foreigners. Verse number 19, Ephesians chapter number 2. But fellow citizens with the saints. What fellow citizens? Yet, what? The black church, the white church, I'm being so nice. Why I got to be religious today? Why do you make me be so nice today? They ain't studying each other. The church ain't studying one fellowships. So where are the saints? The saints are in the wilderness. The saints are individual. The saints, God help me, I'm going to get in trouble, are not even in the church. Half the saints are in their houses, and you don't even know who they are. And the others are in the church, but they packed with nothing but wolves. Hello, saint. Praise the Lord, saint. Testify, saint. Go ahead and praise him, saints. How about the Saints football team? New Orleans Saints. They ain't nothing but a bunch of ain'ts, and never will be, won't be, can't be, because they wouldn't be and never should have been, except by the birth, the will of God, and procreation of life. Minister, don't come out. I'm going to finish somewhere. But fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of God, and are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, not them $3 hustlers. Hustlers, boy, they hustled God, they lied. Ooh, they raped me to hell and back. Apostles, ooh, they weren't no good. Came down every month, robbed the church, robbed us. I mean, they robbed me. I'm glad they still robbing y'all, because they robbed me to hell and back. Yeah, they did. They robbed me. Oh, boy, it wasn't no good either. Wasn't no good. Set up the family. Ooh, you talking about wasn't no good. And are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Jesus Christ himself being the chief cornerstone. What are you building on? Is Jesus the chief cornerstone of your life? No. In other words, everything got to come off the angle. Captain, didn't you say that your cousin, if he could learn how to, if he could square a house? Captain, are you squaring your house? Minister, are you squaring yours? Prophet, are you squaring yours? These are the people I work with. Hey, crew back there, are y'all squaring your house? No, my house was built on a triangle in quicksand. Chief cornerstone is the rock, Jesus Christ. He laid in the corner. The corner represented every angle of your birth, even from your mother's womb, in which when you came out of your mother's womb, you was at an angle of the chief cornerstone in life. Now you had a choice whether to dig down, up, around, in, or out. That's why some of y'all got houses made out of jigsaw puzzles. Jesus get in that house, he'd get lost being inside a maze. So much confusion up in there. A room of suicide, a room of this, a room of that, this room. Jesus be done went to Whitfield in Mississippi. Jesus be in the insane asylum, chartered by the sea. They be done ran crazy. He barely can get through my house. Here it is. Minister, if you just stop rushing me, I'll finish. In whom all the building, he's the chief cornerstone. Everything else comes after that. In whom all the buildings fitly framed together grow it unto a holy temple in the Lord. Every last one of us supposed to grow into a holy temple. The Baptist church, the Methodist church, don't forget it. The Pentecostal church with your holy, God, I ain't got no time for y'all. Where's the church? Future 2155, we don't exist. We don't exist. We're through. Forget about radio. Forget about television. Oh, me. Why does eyes have to go through this? Minister, that's it. In whom you also are building together. We can't even love each other, Rodney King. Can we all just get along? For a habitation of God through the Spirit, we can't do it. We can't do it. We cannot do it. Minister, I'm closing. I'm closing, minister. Just don't be like Cap. We're not going to make it. we're not going to make, Minister, we're going to have to close out. If I read real fast, really fast, okay? I'm going to read really fast in 1 minute. Romans chapter number 1, verse number 18. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness, unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them. For God hath showed it unto them, for the invisible things of him from the, let me read verse number 20. For God hath showed it in unto them, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world. Did you hear that? Are clearly seen. How do you see that? A tree being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power in Godhead, so that they are without excuse. So you don't have no excuse with God. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not. Black folks, Israel, excuse me, white people, I'm talking to you. Mexican, forget about all of us. Neither were thankful. Okay, of course we're not thankful. We're thankful. But became vain in their imagination. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me. I know that's right. And their foolish heart was darkened. Oh, I'm a drunk man. Methamphetamine. Give me a pill from the drugstore. My mind is gone. Because professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. You became like Prophet Johnson. If you're going to get a fool, get a family fool. Get a fool that's going to take care of all your family. Get a fool that's going to spend $1.2 million on the spirit of the heifer and the spirit of a bastard, and then sending them back to the projects to live with the dogs. Tell them Prophet Johnson just told y'all something. Hint, and it's the truth. Here it is. Minister, if you don't come out our clothes, Captain, I'm glad you ain't here. How much time, minister? 1 minute. I'm rolling. 1 minute. And change the glory of the uncorruptible God into the image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creepy things. That's what they worship. That's what they wear. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own heart, to dishonor their own body between themselves, who changed the truth. That's why you got the truth teller. You better believe it, of God into a lie. That's what the church done did. That's what the world done did in worship and serve the creature, money, Hollywood, sex, sports, more than the creator, God, Jesus Christ, who is blessed forever, amen. For this cause, in closing, God gave them up to vile affection, even for their women, did change the natural use into that which is against nature. She didn't want no man. She didn't want no baby. She wanted a woman. And then they had them heterosexual and bisexual. She had a husband, but she spent her money on women. He's a dog, but you don't know it because he sleep with other dogs, getting fleas. Oh, say it in close. Minister, I'm closing. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust, a man itching for another man butt. Here it is, one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly. Hollywood, dress it up. Television, dress it up. Sin is pretty. Put your brother on there. Got a nice tie, got a nice suit. But guess what? Oh, he is married to another man. But it's okay, I'm closing. This is America. We are Sodom and Gomorrah, modern day. The church is inept. We are a dying race. Get it from your television and go get it from your pastor, because you will never get it nowhere else except from the truth teller. Tell it. I'm pointing at me. Minister, I got 5 seconds in receiving in themselves in the recompense of their error, which was me. Every one of them. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, don't want God, talking about preaching for God, going and delivering folks. How you going to deliver folks when you ain't delivered yourself? Talking about starting this church and that church for people that can't even birth children. We crazy. God gave them over to a reprobate mind, meaning false. So that's what the world is operating in, a false mind. I promise you, minister, this is it. To do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whispers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, and inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who, knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do them, but those that have pleasure in them that do the same. Your partner in you, get ready, because I tell you, heaven is real and so is hell, and that's my time, and I'll see y'all on tomorrow night. I'm signing off. This is What Are You Building On? Bye.
I'm wiser, I'm stronger, and my hope is built in you, Lord. I'm looking back, I'm moving forward, not gonna let my past stand in my way. I won't give up, I'm gonna keep pushing. No one can lie, still be more, stay strong, 'cause I'm more than a conqueror. Emotional Productions.